Man, ignorance is not bliss at all. Ignorance is not bliss. Got a lot on my mind today. This rising. Get your message out, man. Somebody need to hear what wisdom you have to share, that's for sure. This motherfucker. She ain't noticing me today. I'm talking about this dog over here. Be tricking with me. Nah, man, I want to touch base with the fam, man. Due diligence, man. When I was young, I used to get teased a lot because I believe people at their word. It's like I believed all the pastors. You see what I'm saying? Not all pastors bad, just like not all police officers are bad. Just like not all lawyers are bad, like not all attorneys are bad. I just want to come share perspective with the fam. Do business. Because when I started doing my diligence, I started seeing things differently for myself. The matrix that we actually live in, and being a filmmaker, an award-winning filmmaker, might I add, you see things differently, man. Because not everything that we create just comes out of thin air. It's usually, art imitates life. But things have been so beautifully constructed where we can't decipher the truth. Because then you get somebody speaking the truth or speaking truthfully. My bad, y'all. And you castrate them. You ostracize them. And it's like, Diesel. Then what's the point in when you find out the truth for yourself, right? This is me speaking to myself, me. When I found the truth for myself, why share it with people that's just going to make you some type of character martyr, I don't want to be no martyr for my people. It's not all skin folks, kinfolk, right? I'm going to get some caffeine. Grand rising to whoever tapped in and seeing this. This is going to end up on YouTube as well. Stepping out of, what is that? Did I do something? What did I do? Mic mode standard. Ooh, that's nice. Voice isolation. Can we do that? We can't do that? Okay. So hopefully y'all still can hear me. I just wanted to go and get some caffeine, make a caffeine run real quick. And I'm not good with that TikTok stuff, when it comes to being quick what you're saying real quick, and I ain't got time to be trying to edit something that's just on my mind. But what's about to take place in this country is crazy, man. Like, they about to flip the script. And what most people are hearing, like what is called currency reset, the dollar's collapsing, all that type of shit. And I agree it is. It's all collapsing. But they about to flip the script just like they did in the Civil War. History repeats itself. And in history repeating itself, if we don't do diligence on what the fuck happened the first time, then we bound to experience the same shit again. The sin is in tax. Language is a form of syntax. And when we were colonized, our tongues was changed from our proper syntax. We pay taxes because we're in sin. yet we've not been redeemed. We have not accepted those things that bind us for value. Because the value is within your energy, your capacity to sign your nature. I had a conversation with a gentleman the other day, and he said, Grand Rising King, good to see you. Thank you for tapping in. Love, respect, the homie. Hollywood. That's funny that you tap in, because on the phone today, a memory popped up from the Nevada joint, you know what I'm saying, when we was in Vegas from that the private banking event. And I was like, yeah, I'm on time with this speech right here in my mindset. But thank you for tapping in, righteous. So where I'm going is like, we don't do our diligence, and it's like we so caught in the twisting of the tongues and stuff, you know, where you got people that's actually arguing amongst themselves whether or not you should gain access to something that's been falsified by history, meaning reparations. You don't need reparations when you understand how money moves. That's what I was sharing earlier in a couple of little TikTok posts. You don't need money from that perspective. You don't need Federal Reserve notes, because a note comes by way of an instrument that is signed by you. Now, when you go into all of the acts, 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 that exist in law that control the commercial paper, because that's what the system we live in, a commercial system, capitalism. What if I told y'all ain't got to pay no rent? Because when you signed the lease, it was paid for right then. Didn't you give your Social Security number to them so they can do a background check? So that you could get, if you're approved for something, then it's paid for in this country. Go look up the legal definition of approve. My people perish for lack of knowledge. We got to do our diligence so we could be redeemed. And what I'm talking about, be redeemed for value, because they've given us, we get 2 pieces of paper. That's the most important pieces of paper when we come into this thing. The birth certificate, the Social Security card. Look at the Social Security card. It's on the same paper that the birth certificate is on. Then, when you transition, you get another certificate, a death certificate, your exit. See, this system gets paid when you get here, while you're here, and when you leave, and they can continue to get paid on when you leave 10 years after you're no longer here. That's insurance. Because when you got here, there was an insurance policy set up through the FDIC, right? About to put it on game today. They talking about car repossessions and shit, and evictions and rent, and all of these things are going to be going up on the rise in 2023, especially going towards the end of the year. Light bills and stuff like that going on the rise. Here where I'm going with it. All of those things are prepaid because you gave your social for it, number one. Number two, you signed some type of agreement. So if it's already prepaid, then how do you access the prepaid stuff to where you don't actually have to pay? Because, see, that's the sin. The sin is debt. Remember, the word sin is synonymous with debt. It comes from the Greek word hamartia, meaning missing the mark. When you get, let me just break something down. We start talking about the negotiable, like go look at the Contract Act, Negotiable Instruments Act, Transfer of Property Act. All of these things, there's so many acts that the top 3 is the Contract Act, the Transfer of Property Act, and I can't think the other one that slips in my mind right now. What I'm sharing with you is when you go read these acts, you'll see how you don't have to pay for shit in this country. And then when people sit back and look at cats like me, be like, man, y'all want something for free. Bitch, I don't want nothing for free. You giving it to them for free. We'll look at it, go to your downtown and see all these bitch-ass buildings that's standing up. That came off of your dollar. your syntax because you don't know how to speak the language of money. So I've been around and seen people that work jobs and think they Gucci. But you don't understand the acts. You see, y'all pay tip out. What I'm talking about. You got a job, you pay tip out. 1,000. You pay tip out when you get your direct deposit or your paper check and money is gone before you can actually spend it or invest it, however you do you. So you pay tip out, but then you got guys like myself that dedicate their life to understanding this information, to disseminate it to you, and you bitch motherfuckers want to go and talk about us. The truth speaker is only valid to the truth seeker. The truth speaker is only valid to the truth seeker. Those that are convoluted in the illusion, the lie, the guy that go to the strip club that think that the stripper actually like him. That's the illusion. They have to get you that way so that you can open up your wallet and pay their light bill so they can tip out. Same shit, you're getting pimped. Now, I never knock somebody for doing what they love because I'm a filmmaker and I love what I do, but I also love to teach. I also like to talk the truth and, share some insights and perspectives. I love all perspectives. We all gods and goddesses, period. But the folk that got a problem with that is the folk that look at God outside of themselves and not in the mirror. Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You're not the God, because if we really want to go there, go to Genesis and check out Elohim, homie. So it's like, I want to talk to the truth seekers. I want to talk to the executors, to the executrix of estates, so that we may contract, that we may do business with each other. Because the real term for family, the definition, go look it up. Family is a business word. The original, those of your bloodline, is your clan. Facts. So I want to talk to family so that I could help all of us. We help each other support our clans. That is the real way to generational wealth, understanding the language that's binding us. Because if you don't know what hypothecated means, then you don't know what's going on in this country. Meaning the United States. So if we take our instruments, we make our claim on the instruments where we are the maker or drawer of. Then you flip the script, you sign on the back at an angle. Go back and look at what the Bible talk about when they crucified Jesus with his superscription. Remember, you going to hell when you get underwritten. When you go to the underwriters, when you go to hell, because that's usually your death pledge or mortgage. But see, if you knew that you had already been redeemed, once you had that mortgage, you could have flipped the script and put your superscription because it's already been paid. Remember, you got approved for the mortgage. You got approved for the car, the financing. Well, if you've been approved, what are you trying to pay? Well, they said they extended my extension of credit. The extension of credit from you to them, meaning the financing company. See, the car dealerships don't want you to know this. See, what I'm in right now, when they had a whole bunch of people talk shit about a nigga. Well, if he talked that, then why he ain't this? Bitch, niggas, I got better whips than you now. Now, the next thing is to get my clan under the same roof. Because while I was going through what I was going through, motherfuckers talking about me. Yay. They didn't know that a nigga like myself and niggas that I grew up with never had a chance to talk with their fathers. Nigga, I talk to my sons weekly, if not every other day, homie. So regardless of what a motherfucker might say about you, if you got some truth in you, stand on your circle and square. That compound interest is going to be devastating. I had to take a step back from 2 of the nonprofits I created. You motherfuckers ain't doing that. Getting people together to say, hey, man, let's go towards the common cause. Right now, sitting on the year, still working on the land deal with my first gen nonprofit and my note holders. They do their principal interest payment this month. Understanding the language of money, sometimes things takes a little time, and if you could just nurture that thing, that bud gonna grow, and it's gonna be replenishing, not just to you, because it's too much for you to smoke. You got to pass out the smoke. I want to drop seeds to an understanding, to a perspective. And that perspective is that if you understand your life instruments, all this old hype going around about the straw man and shit like that, man, that's only the beginning. That's scratching the surface. It's an iceberg. I don't know it all. I just know what I know effectively to do what I need to do. See, there's a lot of motherfuckers that was talking shit on me about how I'm not a good father and shit like that. But check this out. If my children ever got in trouble with the law, they would never go to jail for something that they didn't do. My children will never go to jail for something they never did. The district attorney ain't ever got to say to me, they mamas, if you could pay $5,000, your child ain't got to go to jail. Wish a nigga would. Or politically correct for corporate legal. I'm ready for you and willing. I'm ready and willing for you to test that assumption. We speak on different levels. Because I know that courts are ecclesiastical, dealing with Levitical law. That got a gold fringe around it, where no other attorneys or lawyers are actually there for you. They're there for that gold fringe around the flag. That's what they're there for. So let's put it on game. Let your requests be known. Put them plain on tablets and give it to a herald that they may run with it. That's a form today. What is your claim on the form? The OG, Tom Schauf, Master CPA, said, if you know how to put it on the form, you'll get from the United States government whatever you want, too sweet. There's a form for that, right? But again, these forms we fill out, we don't know is the goods. We think that the car, the house is the goods. It's not the goods. The goods is the paper that you put your sign of nature on, that you put your Social Security for, that you got to prove. Understand, Social Security. It's dealing with socialism, but Social Security, security. It's not just for your security. Understand that what you got Social Security through is an entity that the United States created. And they issued a birth certificate. That's the issue. The issue is that we don't know what the instrument is and how we take that instrument and play in commerce. We're going to learn today, though. It's hot than a motherfucker in here. Woo, nigga. This shit here might disconnect. Hold on, I'm gonna let it. Let's see. Brother LeVar, peace, God. Yay. And go and get some caffeine, but I had some shit on my mind because we don't understand what's really popping. We don't understand what's really popping, man. You get a bill every month. Every month you get a bill. Go look up what a bill is. It's akin to a note, a coupon, but you could flip the script and make it payable to the United States Treasury because it's an issue of the United States. It's an obligation. Why? That name that I was talking about, that all caps name on your birth certificate, depending on when you were born, it might not be. But that Social Security card got all caps on there. That's who that shit is to. They're issuing the bill, the coupon, the remittance, so that you could flip the script, send it back to them payable to. Not with your hard-earned Federal Reserve notes from your labor. They're not asking for that. But they're willing to allow you to give them something that is outside the contract, which is a Federal Reserve note, debit, credit. They'll take that. Now let's go what I shared with in the Set It Off series, dealing with, like I said, with this car, in the discharge of this car. The contract is the goods. We go to what a credit card is, right? So a credit card is not the piece of plastic you get. That's not the credit card. Look. This came, I was getting rid of a card that I didn't use anymore. Right? So, y'all can't see it like this. I'll just do it this way. This card don't even use. This was a Chase card, right? So I was like, I was trying to cut it, whatever. And I was like, nah, man, let me see, you know, what's inside. This is what's inside. This is not a credit card. This is an access device. You see the copper wire in there? This is an access device. This is new technology for the old form. What's the old form? Birth certificate, Social Security card. Why is it that every card that you receive that's credit, debit card is in plastic, but your Social Security card come in paper? And you can't laminate it. There's a reason for that. It's on bond paper. So my point in bringing up is the fact that if you take your instruments, see, your body is an instrument. It's an instrument of praise. Whatever you put your hands to do, you praise Him. Especially if you're using your gifts and talents that the Most High has endowed you with. If you're using them shits proper, you'll have your abundance in due time, in due season. Because you live in a system that won't allow you to just pop up like that, especially if you ain't from here. Understand that you buy your hair, your eyelashes, and all that other bullshit. Women is the most liars. I swear for God, women be lying their ass off. Y'all ain't that tall. Your eyelashes ain't that long. Your hair ain't that long. Like all kind of whatever. But I'm glad that there's business people out there today that's coming through with stuff for men, with t-shirts and shit to make us look more buff. Some of us ain't got no ass, so we got ass-lifting jeans too for niggas. Fuck what you talking about. I'm with it. Fashion equality shit. But my point in saying that if evictions, if car repossessions, all of these things are on the rise, unemployment, you get your Social Security number to your job. You give your Social Security number to your bank. Perspective. Whatever you give your Social Security number to is prepaid. It's secured with your sign of nature. As long as you stay alive, you got security. But we think our job just over broke is security. It is not. That's the illusion of security. But if everybody knew this, nobody would work. Not for what they working for sure. It would be a different reality, utopian type society where we actually go back to the village, raise the child, and the village care for the elders. Why? Because we have the same knowledge that existed before the United States did. And for the people who were here already. I dare anybody from Ado step up and chop it up with somebody on my level of knowledge. Abba Shango L, Yusuf L, Taj Tariq Bey, Jonah Bey, the People's Remedy. I can go on down the list. My point is that there's a collect few of people that understand this information. You can go find it on YouTube. But because all skin folk ain't kinfolk and they understand that, we will go with whoever got the whole shiny bling bling shit. I'm not hating on that at all. What I'm discoursing about is that the public and private part, while all that is going on, you don't have to participate in the world. Even though you're in the world, you don't have to be of it. This is what it means. When you get your utility bill, it comes to you in a positive number, and it says amount due. Amount due to who? Because if you understand how checks are formed, because see, some of us, that's the other part. They got our children right now, not even in certain school districts, they don't even do cursive writing. So we have to teach our children how to write in cursive. Oh, that's a curse. It's telling you it's a curse. It doesn't matter if it's a curse if you casting a spell. It doesn't matter if it's a curse if you casting the spell. Like the gospel. Some of you niggas asleep. I'm speaking to my men. Shit. Is it not true that before Adam got Eve, he was done with his work? Before Adam received the helpmate, Eve, he was done with his work. So, meaning, niggas gotta go to sleep if they gonna be with a woman. And you gotta be economically ready for that particular stature. Get your work in. I did it backwards, and most of us do it backwards. That's why other cultures got that shit right. Meaning, you'll see an older gentleman, maybe in his 30, 35, 40. You're supposed to be at your level financially by then. Anybody who got money today that's controlling some shit in the world didn't get their bag on really until they was in their mid to late 40s, early 50s. Facts. So, while the United States is talking about young people get the bag, young people get the bag, say, man, the internet is causing young people to do a whole lot of phenomenal shit. We better pay attention. I was talking to an elder the other day, and he got XRP. I say, man, that's some dope shit, OG. You got some XRP. And he went on down the list talking about crypto. And I'm like, damn. It became apparent to me. They about to flip the script. For real. They about to do that Civil War shit. For real. And if you don't know this other information, because guess what? I don't care if the system collapses. Guess what's going to keep coming to your mailbox? Bills. So what I'm sharing is, if we knew, see, this is the reason why you could do this. Not just because of your signature only, because you could put an X right there and get the same shit done. Go in the hospital and see how some of the people write their signatures. They just need to have some type of sign of life. Do a FOIA request on your birth certificate and see what it say for you. What it say about you. I looked mine up, and there's a particular way that they say that you God. FOIA request. That would be Freedom of Information Act on your birth certificate through the Vital Statistics Department. And then see what it say about you. You are the reason why the government is doing what it's doing. Because we keep funding it with debt notes. That's why, for my Christians, come out of her, my people. Talking about Babylon. That's a Babylonian system. So there's a degree of people that exist, right? At the same time with everybody else going their job, that dedicate their life, like myself, to learning this information, and not just learning it just to have a wealth of knowledge. No, nigga, demonstrate. Church folks, some of the sickest, brokest people in the goddamn country. Challenge that shit. Divorce at an all-time high. Who married people? Come on, man. Let's stop playing, man. It's that gospel, man. We in a motherfucking sleep mode. And it's like when people come to say, hey, man, wake up. Look at this over here, man. If you looked over here, whoo. Before you actually leave that car dealership, see, think about it. If you owed the car dealership after being approved for financing, you got the car financed, yay. So if it's financed and you leave the dealership, right, with that whip, you owe them. You owe either the dealership or the finance company or the bank. You owe the bank, but they let you leave with the whip. McDonald's gonna give you your food and let you leave if you owed them? Let's think about this shit different. Like, if you get a sole proprietorship, you only get one of them that ties directly to your social security number. You could do it too with your LLC if you did it that way, whatever, but we ain't, that's another topic, another day. But your sole proprietorship, that's why I say everybody should have a consultation company and a nonprofit. Because if you get them read by, see, every time I see people, man, check out my shoes, man, check out my women, check me out, boy, I'm clean, boy. And it's like, that shit they could take from you, and all it takes is somebody to say you dealing drugs. And they just need just an inch of evidence of that truth. So if you're not that, then they're going to find some other tax evasion. They're going to find something that has to demonstrate that. Some of y'all this don't apply to. Because you ain't got shit, or you ain't doing that type of shit to bring that type of attention to yourself. But when you get on the platform, you public figure now. That's why if you're going to get out there, be able to talk your talk and demonstrate the walk. Period. When I looked at my contract for the car, installment agreement, any agreement becomes a contract after, you know, there's mutual consideration and agreement. So the installment contract said, in one line, I might do a little video and, you know, I'll plug it in here later in editing. But it said in the contract, before we even got into the finance charge and all that, it said, if this vehicle is not being used for personal or household use, whatever, check the box. The box that it was asking to be checked, it said for commercial, agricultural use, business purposes. Now, there is no law in any state of the United States and the Union that says that you have to register a car, an automobile, that you're using for personal use. There's nothing that says that, no law that says you have to register your car. So, the contract is already breached. Because I told you, car dealer, that I'm not using this car for business. This is for personal use. You still registered the car. Contract is breached. So that's why there's, just like you can surrender your license, there's a form for that. You can surrender the plates and then get a private plate as a private man or woman. But see, some of y'all, I seen a few people click off right there because I just went over your head. Some of y'all want to be blind, deaf, and dumb. Facts. Some of y'all want to continue to pay taxes to something that's unnecessary. I don't mind paying tax at the store, at getting certain, you know, merchandise, whatever. I don't mind that. What I got a problem with is unnecessary tax. You're not going to take money from my check before I get it. That's like paying rent to work. Just like your registration. Your registration for your car. You're renting your car from the state. You pay for it and maintain it with your hard-earned money, and then turn around and pay the state for it. Go to jail if you don't pay that ticket because, like, you mean to tell me because I failed to put my right turn signal on and made a turn, didn't cause no accident, didn't hurt nobody, that's a crime? All crimes are commercial. You can look up federal law on that, where it says that the crime for, I think, murder is like a $2 million like fine. And you go sit down for that. Any type of crime, there's actually some type of monetary value tied to it that you could discharge. That's when it comes to your, see, y'all on child support and it's on your credit, that's a federal crime. It's a violation of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. Child support got to be gone. That's a debt from a debt collector. The child support agency is a debt collector. I never wanted to say this type of shit, you know what I'm saying, publicly, but I say, man, forget it. I'm going to go ahead on and start talking about shit. Why? Because I have a whole lot of people that think they know a nigga. Now, player, you don't know me. No, sis, you don't know me. I could take your game to an entirely different level. But see, I step back so I can put the motherfucking mask on myself. You feel me? I'm gonna make you motherfuckers real mad. Because I'm gonna ball first. And the motherfuckers that's around me and my crew, we gonna ball first. We gonna eat first. It's time for us to eat first. Stop stepping back and letting our light be dimmed by other motherfuckers wanting to shine. Fuck them. Get on your truth seekers. Because if you don't understand this particular information, your game about to get fucked up. Because you around these other dumb motherfuckers that sit up there think they know some shit but don't know nothing. Meaning, what diligence you study. What discipline you on. You want to get the bag with this money, not understanding the magic that's tied to the back of it. Turn it over and see what you're looking at. But that's another topic for another day. All I'm talking about is the fact that we live in a system that we get fucked over on a norm. But it's only because of our lack of knowledge. And then, again, someone come tell you, oh, no, that's not it. Hey, well, check this out. Harriet Tubman said, I would have freed thousands of more slaves if they only knew they were slaves. I would have freed thousands of more slaves if they only knew they were slaves. I put out a video on TikTok. I looked up the legal meaning. I wanted y'all to see that. The legal meaning of interest. Interest. Interest doesn't just have to do with financial, monetary, banking shit. Okay? You can have an interest in property, real estate. You can have an interest in chattels. Chattels. Go look up chattels. When you receive that bill in the mail for your utilities, whatever it is, and they got your all caps name on that and it says amount due, no, that's an amount due to you. Because if you owed them, why is it not a negative number? If you owe them, you don't owe them. They owe you. That's a dividend check. And it's an incomplete instrument that you have to become maker or drawer of because you are God. You generate, operate, and destroy commercial paper. And with the IRS, there's a form for that. So if you understood the redemption that already exists within you, there would be no debt. You would not be in sin. See, look up heaven and hell. Simple-minded ass folk think that that's an actual place. The legal definition of heaven and the legal definition of hell. You live in a legal system that you're controlled by. So you should know legally what heaven and hell actually means in that particular context. Where the language, I think what is the post I put up with Confucius, where the language is not right, what is said is not meant. My people perish for lack of knowledge. Take a ride with me, man. I've been sitting up here talking. Tired of these broke ass folk. Got some shit to say about niggas that dedicate their life to trying to free motherfuckers' minds. But it usually be the people that's stuck their ass in church all the goddamn time listening to a pastor who broke as they ass. Using their money to make sure the church's bills is paid. With your hard-earned money that you are offering. But yet, you don't take proper claims on your taxes. For sure you don't. So it's like, I'm just sharing a lifestyle that it took me some years to gain, and I'm still working on it. I ain't where I want to be at all. As I said earlier, in the video, shit, at the end of the day, I ain't seeing my sons like I want to. I talk to them. But what's the difference then? You got a man that's on the truck, driving trucks that hardly see his family. The athlete that's always on the road they hardly see their family. Same shit. I was just dealing with a brother the other day. He trying to get his shit together. And it's like, man, you know what I'm saying? Just holler at me, boy. Just get with me. I don't know everything, but I know what I know. Many men know many things, but no man knows everything. However, when we work in a collective binding agreement, when we move as a unit, man, we fuck up the shit. We mess up their system because the system is individually based. It's divided we fall, right? They say united we stand, but divided we fall. I choose not to just be in an individual capacity where it's like I get this access to this information and do my best to share with y'all, you know what I'm saying, my losses, my wins. You talk to a nigga right now or communicating with me right now, and it ain't no bragging point. As I get my financial life together, because I was always focused on trying to help someone else, because as an entrepreneur, I wanted to work with my people. But unfortunately, over my time of years, the my people part, trying to help and work with my skill sets, is what kept me broke. Because we want to judge people about, not by their knowledge, not by the value that they bring towards other people's lives. We judge people by what they got and how much money they can give you. At least that's the people that I be around, that I came around. There's a lot of people that think that way. And they one check away from food stamps. When I was growing up, food stamps was a bad thing. Now it's like, shit, give me my food stamps, nigga. But at the same time, I sit back and say it was never a bad thing, because you getting food stamps is you getting a dividend from your trust. It's your trust. That's a dividend check payment to you. But they only, cause see, this is why it's a trust, because you got a birth certificate on file with them and a social security card that account. So you go into an office that has been delegated authority by the trustees of the United States to issue you a percentage of your money from your trust. And it's called food stamps. It's called WIC. But that same trust has an account, and any account you open up in the name of that particular individual is actually the same account. I'm saying it again. Any account that you open up, a utility company, bank, doesn't matter. When they send that remittance, if you look at the bottom of that remittance, you see a whole bunch of numbers. That's a check, man. It's just incomplete. You're supposed to take that, pay to the order of either them who sent it to you, the United States, or your all caps name. Bring it to your bank, and your bank will deposit it. However, your bank account got to be set up a certain way in order to do it. I know how to do it. I'm doing it. I want y'all to get out there and start just looking up some of the information. That's it. Because we don't know what this system flip gonna actually look like. We don't know what it's gonna look like. We don't know how that's gonna affect us, really, when they flip the script and go crypto, goes full Fed Now. Fed Now is already here. Fed Now is how you're gonna access either the CBDC, central bank digital currency, or whatever token they adopt. That's why I say get XRP, because that's one of the 5 that's already compliant with the Federal Reserve via ISO 222. Go look that up, ISO 222. We are bound by contracts, and these contracts are the lies that hold us to the debt. Because if we understood how to go ahead on and redeem that value, there would be no debt. You have a right of rescission, 3 days. Think about that. You can rescind any contract, well, most contracts, because the mortgage is a little bit different. But you can rescind any contract within 3 days. And they have to pay you all your interest, because what's supposed to happen after you did the particular superscription on it, right, and transferred your rights and titles, see, value is transferred through your rights. You have a right to contract. You have a right to make money, earn income. You have a right. So in that value has to be preceded by your signature. Now you've given value. because you gave your rights to transfer the interest from your account to theirs. But because we don't put it in proper form with a 1040V, the V stands for voucher, because we don't put it in that proper form, we lose access. They get it. And they do a 1099, but they call it 1099A. And the A stands for abandonment or acquisition, right? So if we know that there's a form for that, your 1099A, your 1099B, and your 1099C. B is for barter and brokers, and the C is for cancellation of debt. You can order these forms for free off the internet. Don't do this shit. Hit your ass with a frivolous filing fee, $5,000 for each filing that's frivolous. But when you know how to play the game and understand financial instrumentation, superscription. You become the maker and drawer. Every time you put your name, signature, however you are drawing. That's giving, transferring energy, right? So whatever you put your energy towards, you get. That's why it's like you can get anything in this country you want with good credit. Bet you get anything in this country you want when you know how to draft an instrument, a financial instrument, because your birth certificate is an instrument. I know this. Look it up. Because if you got your birth certificate, I'm talking about your long form, because you got two of them. The long form and the short form. It's called a certain different. Like I think in New York it's called a vault certificate. Louisiana is something different, but most states it's called the long form birth certificate. So if you got the long form birth certificate, you then can take that to get it authenticated. The authentication process doesn't unlock any type of door for you financially. What it does is it authenticates the certificate, the seal, and the name of the registrar of when you were born, right? That they were official. That's what it does. But I've done videos about this, showed people this, and taught classes that for me, when I saw that the birth certificate came back from the authentication with the state, it said that that registrar was in a capacity to certify to instruments issued from that department. Instruments. Then, when I went to the federal level with it, with the Homeland Security, and got that particular situation authenticated, it came back on bond paper with a gold rivet in the upper left-hand corner, right? And it said that the seal of the state of Texas is backed by the full faith and credit. Full faith and credit. Then it comes with an annex number at the top where you remove your birth certificate out of that particular jurisdiction. So what I'm sharing with you, fam, is that you already got the goods to be debt free. And it has nothing to do with you paying your debt down. Just like you're not supposed to pay third-party debt collectors. And if it's a third-party debt collector, is reporting inaccurate, misleading, and abusive information. Because if you try to go and I can show you right now. Go try to apply for something right now. This is going to drop my credit score. Your shit ain't that boss anyway, because your profile is more important than how it's mixed than your actual credit score. Facts. I've seen people with 800 FICOs get denied for shit. So, what I'm sharing with you is, go get denied tonight. Go, whatever credit card. It's not legal or financial advice. My videos never constitute that. This is information. You do what the fuck you want. I'm sharing with you my experience. And I would love for you to be able to build with me on that and experience the same thing. Go get denied for a credit card tonight. Go get denied for an auto loan tonight. Then they're going to send you a letter in the mail called adverse action. Read that letter. You could then take that letter. You can type a letter back to them or write it out that they denied you based on inaccurate information, incomplete information. Because I promise you, what's reported on your credit report, there's some inaccuracies. And if you ain't on that already, and you've done that already, then this speech ain't for you. I can tell you what to do after that if you wanted to. However, the information that I've kind of dripped through here is what rich people hear about, elite rich people put into action, poor people hear about, the elite of the poor put into action. Because the people that's going to work, that got their Netflix, got their crib and everything paid, they don't need this information. Those are the ones that's going to be like, what's that when you play Mario? Because you're depending on this corporation, this company, to give you your daily bread. And you're not supposed to be living by bread alone. So it's like, when you know you have the goods to discharge any debt, because you've already been redeemed, you've already been saved, right? You saved. A lot of church folk talk about being saved and they still broke. They don't have blood pressure, medication, shit. Just because you got a nice house and a couple of cars, that means debt, debt, and debt. That's your holy trinity. A house and 2 cars. Debt, debt, and debt. Not including your student loans. Oh, I got them paid. I paid off my student loans. I love when I hear people say that. I'd be like, man, good job. I'm glad you did that, and I hope you're working in your field, because you already paid for that student loan when you put your sign of nature on that. That's why they saying get it off people's credit report. We don't need them to know that shit. They don't want you to know about your medical records not supposed to be on there. So they just taking it off. They just taking it off. A lot of y'all don't even know about the data breach that took place. In 2017? Did a whole class on that. The data breach. And how you could probably get up to $20,000. Up to $20,000. Because if you've been affected by it, impacted is what they say, you can do that. But there's work you got to put in to do that. And that's the people get scared of doing work. They'd rather go work for a nigga that's like, do you understand that when I came into the game, you didn't even drive your whip, like your stun on them whip? You ain't drive that to work. Why? Because you got hating ass co-workers. Why? You got a supervisor that's making more money than you, but you getting in work and doing your shit better than them financially. They hating. Your boss hating. Why? That's why you don't drive your whip like that. You don't let people know that you work with that ain't doing as good as you, because you understand how to use money in a different way. Your credit better than theirs. They don't know how you did what you did. Pimp C say, niggas say I hide side when I pass by and don't speak. Because see, what you don't know is who you said something to. No, I'm a real nigga. I'm 1,000. I'm solid on mine. And if you don't think so, nigga, comment. And then we can chop it up on why you think I ain't solid on what I'm talking about, nigga. At the end of the day, there's accomplishments that I've done by the people that got some shit to say. That's some other shit. The people that got the most shit to say about you ain't did the most shit that you done did. They ain't even doing nothing with themselves, but they got some shit to say about you. A lot of them motherfuckers put up, say, hey man, let's trade credit reports. Let's see what your FICO, what your credit profile mix look like. Let's pull up some bank account information. Oh no. When I was at Lamar University in Beaumont, my communications director, Dr. Elliott, shout out to Dr. Elliott, he told us that he did he had to write his thesis to get his doctorate. And he said that he did his thesis on it. It was surprising that men were more willing to share the size of their penises than their bank accounts. I hope, like psychology, right? So we have traffic a lot of times on the highway because of some shit that happened on the other side. This niggas looking, rubbernecking, right? Ooh, what happened? Don't want to see no blood. Don't want to really see no, some people do. But then most people don't really want to see that gore. They don't want to see that. But they looking. And then be like, oh no, I didn't want to see that. Oh man. But look, man. The Negotiable Instruments Act, Securities Exchange Act, everything that's binding us in the situations that we're in right now. Some of us, like I said, ain't in situations. I know I was in a situation still working my way out of it. But when I go take my power of attorney form to the bank to draw on U.S. Treasury checks, man, I hope y'all feeling that drop right there. I just told you, man. Power of attorney is the most powerful thing that you could have when you get that long form birth certificate. Comes in threes. The Bureau of Fiscal Service form. Tap in with me when I get back on and doing it, or you do your own diligence. The individual special power of attorney for individuals to draw on U.S. Treasury checks. Then, number 2, the FDIC power of attorney. And then your power of attorney that you draw up with your person because you're agent for your agency. The birth certificate is evidence of some form of contractual agreement. And in that contractual agreement, it's issued with the state that you were born in. You have to be here to delegate as agent that issue. The issue is that you're creating all of these secure transactions and you're not administrating your estate properly. That's why they do it for you and then say, hey man, you got to pay tax. Shouldn't be paying no tax. Why? Because that individual is exempt from it. Understand that Title 26, United States Codes, subsection 7806, period. But at the same time, what records do you have on file with certain agencies to identify that I am? To tell them what your birth certificate say via the, what you call that? Freedom of Information Act request for you. We have access to a wealth of information through the internet. We have access through the internet to reach out to people like myself and others that I gave names earlier, that you could go research, reach out to them. Man, let's get it. Can I get in your study group? Because that's what's about to happen. Those people that's in, oh man, I'm good, man. I'm good. My phone bill paid. Girl laughed at me one time. She said, yo, you don't ever keep your phone number. Nah, because I don't want to. You know, why do I need the same lame ass people reaching out to me over the same lame ass shit? Elevate your game. Because people grow away from each other. There's very few people I grew up with that I actually talk to right now. Because we grow away from each other. I went into monk mode for 7 years. I was on this drip. A lot of relationships damaged. And I don't give a fuck. Why? Because I'm free. What does freedom look like? This is what the fuck freedom look like to me. When you open up the windows of knowledge. This is open up the windows of heaven, and so you get that blessing. It's knowledge, man. Because again, legal definition of heaven, the legal definition of hell. Heaven is a state of mind, and hell is where you owe somebody. Close my shit before it start raining. Fucking with y'all. See, I've ran into several preachers that don't want to talk on this. They don't even want to talk about the book of Enoch. They don't want to talk about Mary Magdalene, the book of Mary Magdalene. They don't want to talk about that. But they want to come with some old Joseph Flavius ass, Judas ass concepts, not realizing that the disciples are talking about characteristics of discipline. You are the Christ when you can get all of your characters, your characteristics of energy together. Facts. And the one in your crew is your Judas. That aspect of Judas, we ain't talking about the one in your crew. We talking about that enemy within yourself. Your enemy is in me. Your enemy is in the goddamn mirror. You experience racism because you identify with it. You experience being poor because you identify with it. You experience being whatever the fuck because you identify with it. Tell your children about the college experience of you while we sitting up here talking about, oh, my child graduated valedictorian. What that mean? They gonna need a student loan? Oh, no. I work hard for my student loan. They got a 501. I got a 509 plan. My child ain't. Your child gonna live in a goddamn dormitory. I got put on game when I went to the University of Utah. And one of the guys that I was cool with, I was like, damn, dog, you rich. You got a house? He was like, nah, man, this is my investment property. My dad came down, and it was a motherfucking 4-unit duplex where the other fucking tenants paid his rent. And when he graduated, his gift was selling the house or taking the equity. Now, is college going to teach you that shit? Nah, but let's celebrate because they go get a goddamn scholarship to pay for a school that ain't really paying them. You don't know shit about contract law with these new NIL deals coming up. Name, image, likeness. I'll never forget that shit. You got to do shit you don't want to do. On different levels. Jamie Foxx did some shit he wasn't supposed to do. There's levels to this shit, man. But we want to talk about the happy-go-lucky shit. They want to talk about the real shit. The only way that you elevate in life is through exposure to something different than what you've been experiencing. Insanity. Expecting something different. You keep doing the same things and you're expecting something different. It's not going to happen. In order to get something different, you have to do something different. Study the negotiable instruments law. Go look up Meet Your Straw Man. Go look up, the redemption manual. It's all kind of information out there. I ain't the only one talking this shit. I'm just the only one in my crew that actually apply this shit. That's why I dispersed myself. I went in monk mode so I could learn what I needed to learn so I could come back with all power in my hand. Ain't no law official can fuck with me. And I try to share that, demonstrate that with you, my people. There is no debt. The only debt that there is the one you identify with because you said it's so. So it's like, let the truth speaker speak to those that's truth seeking. If you're going to college, please tell me what truth you're seeking. You're going to college to learn a particular subject matter, a particular discipline to make some money under somebody else's job. You ain't going to college to be no entrepreneur. I ran from structure for years and realized being around rich people, structure. I'm going to say majority of the rich people I met didn't go to school. When I say didn't go to school, I'm talking about college. They learned a trade. They went to some of them into the military. Came out, took that bread and flipped it into something else. So it's like the number one skill set that we could have moving forward beyond 2025 is enhanced communication. And that came down from who? I'm talking about who? I'm talking about the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, Mr. Klaus Schwab, who really running this shit. If you don't think so, do your diligence. And what I'm talking about where we moving forward with the actual laws and stuff and how they moving with certain medical regulations, all of that. Even dealing with credit. That's why I say, man, they got a lot of melanated folk coming up right now. At least one, it's seemingly so. But again, Warren Buffett said, it is not until the tide goes down that you see who was skinny dipping. Meaning, all of these people putting up fronts like, oh, I got this and I got that, and woo, woo, woo. They ain't showing you the real shit. If you're not set right now to get in position, not how many savings accounts you got, woo, 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 man. Look, let me put you on game real quick. I got to go get my caffeine unless y'all going to walk in with me. When you, all accounts are prepaid when you put up your social and your sign of nature. Check. When you go open up your bank account, I will hope one more person leave before I say this. I hope one more person leave before I say this, like for real. If you have a prepaid account that you could tap into, they tap into it all the time, meaning whoever you get a number to. And you take that prepaid account number and you go to the bank and open up a bank account and you make a deposit. But notice, which came first? The money you gave the banker to deposit or the paper that you signed your name on it? That's the deposit, right? So the paper you signed your name on is the deposit. What you did with the other piece of money, that debt currency, you fucked it up right then. How did you mess it up? Because you put debt, a debt currency, into a demand deposit account that really just expanded it. Because see, what happens is, that's an extension of credit. You extended your bank account because your bank account came prepaid with $250,000 already. What you mean? Prepaid account, anything you put up your social for secures the transaction. So when you get a bank account, your bank account is already secured through the FDIC. Remember them two powers of attorney I talked about? Bureau of Fiscal Service, the FDIC power of attorney, in conjunction with your power of attorney. Don't put no attestation on that bitch. Oh my God, you really getting what you want then. You got to flip the script. Go into the bank manager and talk this drip with him. But you got to have sound mind. What I love about the fraternity I chose to become a part of, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Epsilon New Chapter, Lamar University, Spring 2000, that we should have conversation with worthwhile thought and proper diction. If your speech ain't right, you know no diction. That's why jurisdiction, jurisprudence. You have no understanding of jurisdiction if you have no understanding of jurisprudence. Juris means legal, prudence is knowledge. Juris, legal, diction, speech. Now, people pass for lack of knowledge. Now, that you know about this, I'm glad some people came on the left. There's two people on here, three. Damn, somebody came back. Look, hit me in the DM, yo. Because what I'm about to do when I come back full force with First Gen online, when I come back full force with my brothers, with JCO, man, like, there's certain things with non-profits. Why one nonprofit is tax exempt, another nonprofit is not. Most churches are tax exempt. That's why they ain't talking this type of shit in church, because number one, the pastors ain't even on this. And if they are, they doing it underground, low key. Because churches cannot lose their 501c3 status right now. Because when that church was created, established, and got that 501c3, all of the profits, the gifts, everything that church has done has been tax exempt. At the time that they get that tax exempt taken from them, that is due to the IRS. Bankrupt instantly. It's a game. See, I was like, man, with Monopoly, right? You start off, get your token, the bank give you $1,500 off the rip. I'm like, damn, dog, life don't work that way. Life didn't give me $1,500 to start off with. When I got here, nor did it give me $1,500 when I got to college to be like, or nor did it give me $1,500 when I passed go. None of that. And I'm sitting back like, oh shit, the whole time, if you understand what I've been saying over the last, 40 minutes, if you caught what I said, they did give it to us. They gave it to us through the birth certificate. That happened in 1933. I started doing my diligence when my grandmother passed away, and it made even more sense when they said that she was not born when she knew she was born. Because she was born around the time the system flipped, when they flipped the script. What if I told you United States and its allies did not win World War II? Do your diligence. There's a report that just came out about Albania. and what regime the United States has been under. No wonder they flipping the script. My people perish for lack of knowledge, man. Like, so all I'm saying is we got that token, right? Our body can move and do certain things. The Spirit of God works through us, right? The Spirit of God works through this body. It is not me that's talking to you right now that'll go on the drip, whatever. That's the Most High speaking through me. So it's like if you share with the brothers, the sisters, when you share with gods and goddesses and get them thinking a certain way, just dropping the seed of knowledge. That's why every pastor I talk to, I love to debate. Yo, Chris, you should have been a lawyer. I am. You should have been a pastor. I am. But we all have a ministry. We all good at something. I don't give a damn what it is. You good at something. But if you come through a system that doesn't teach you how to access your God and goddesshood, what the fuck you gonna produce? You just gonna be a consumer. But in the United States, the consumer is the most powerful position you could be in. Because the corporations, understand, these companies, big corporation, no, man, that's just a shell. These corporations got board of directors, men and women up there fucking over you. Fucking over us. Be it a school board, a medical board, the utility regulation board. These people that's taking lobbyist dollars to do whatever it is they want to do. To get you to pay 2, 3, 4 times for something. I had a client that had a house for 4 years. I mean, not 4 years, for 6 years. She was paying on that house for 6 years and she had 4 different note holders. Didn't even know it. Because you don't go check. Oh, I got a 750 credit score. I'm good on my credit. I said, bet. Won't you go and check out to see if you were impacted? Could you use $20,000? Oh, yeah, I'll take $20,000. Yeah, I would. Well, go see if you was impacted with your consumer credit report with the Equifax debt settlement. You was impacted. Boom. Okay. Okay, you say I was impacted. So what that mean? And I'm supposed to give you that shit for free. Go read the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau website. Go read the Federal Trade Commission, and then I'm giving you where you could go. But if you want me to hold your hand through that, every man is worthy of his hire. And if you're not willing to equally compensate for that, what you gonna get double, triple in effect of what I could give you. Me just telling you that your bank account is insured for $250,000. This is not legal or financial advice. You will look this shit up yourself. You are insured for $250,000. If you're insured, the account is insured, can you get a payout on insurance? Well, that just depends on the type of insurance. I don't give a damn if it's term, whole life, or IUL. I mean, UIL. Universal, Index Universal Life, IUL, that is, IUL. A term policy, life insurance, whatever insurance you got, if you make a claim, you can get paid. God damn, that's drip. If you make a claim, let thy request be put on tablets, make them plain, give it to a herald that they may run with it. If you make your claim, you can get paid from an insurance policy. Well, something got to happen. That depends on the policy you got. Because if it's cash value, ain't shit got to happen. You hear? That's only in the whole life policy and an Index Universal Life policy, IUL. Cash value, you can access your cash. Access your cash value at a certain time. If you have an account that's insured up to $250,000, you just need to make a claim. I just gave y'all the 2 forms. Go look it up or tap in with me, and then warp speeding. Oh, well, Chris trying to get paid. You fucking right. Because what I know can get your ass paid. What I know can show you how to go. Let me go check my mortgage and see how many note holders I done had. Because guess what? Each note holder that you've had, all you got to do is ask them. Not legal or financial advice. Let me get that contract, which was called debt validation. With a debt verification letter. Let me get that original contract with you, because it must be written that we got a contract. But if I don't have a contract with you, then how do I owe you? Now, how do I stop my house from getting foreclosed on? Affidavit. Power of attorney. There's all kinds of strategies to become free, but it all starts with birth certificate. Become the holder in due course. Power of attorney over your person, identifying you as the agent, attorney in fact. Get your passport as a non-citizen national. That just means you don't give them the social. The social number, that's the actual U.S. citizen. Understand, when you get a passport, for those that got passports and a driver's license or a state ID, look at them side by side. I bet you they have your first name, your middle name, and your last name on all of them. However, on the passport, your last name is going to say surname. Your first name, you don't have a middle name. It's going to say given name. And it's going to say your first and middle. That's your proper name. The other one on the license, that piece of plastic, that's the U.S. person that they're identifying. So, I'm going to go get me some caffeine. I done spent a lot of time. I appreciate you, fam, for coming in. I leave you as I came in love, peace, and harmony. DM me. And let's go. Let's go get that bag, baby.